Hey, Lethal University, it's Ray coming at you once again with my rebooking video. Xander and I originally at one point we were going to have go back and forth on, I book it this way, well, I book it this way. We're not going to do that anymore because we don't like doing that. So instead, I'm going to be booking a Finn Balor debut rebook like he was booking a Bobby Roode debut rebook. It's almost like we coordinated this because we just had the SummerSlam match. How odd. Anyway, okay, so in case you're wondering, Finn Balor was an NXT champion. He lost to Samoa Joe, debuts on the main roster, wins, I believe, a tournament to become number one contender for the WWE Universal Championship. He goes against Seth Rollins for the vacant Universal Championship at SummerSlam. He wins the match, but his shoulder got hurt. Yes, Seth Rollins was going for a buckle bomb in the corner of the barricade, and he drops Finn on it, and Finn's shoulders completely came out of its socket. That's gonna hurt. So he was out for a while, then he came back. Then it wasn't as exciting as before. Then he was Intercontinental Champion. Now he's. And after a long, confusing road where he kept getting put in mid-card feuds against people like Bray Wyatt, he ended up going back to NXT, became NXT Champion again, and is now rocking as the Prince. But we had a really strong start. So I'm going to book what would happen if Balor did not get injured at SummerSlam. I'm going to start with changing that spot. Go. So, we keep everything mostly same in the match because it was a good match. If I could, I would change what the Universal Championship looked like because, God, that was distracting for a really good match. And if you completely forget about the ugly, ugly belt beforehand, it's a fantastic match. So, when Seth is about to throw Balor into the barricade, Balor actually does not go. He flies into the crowd, has some plants there, and they catch Balor. Balor looks around. He gets on the barricade again. He's staring down Seth. Seth turns around into a drop kick. Balor throws Seth in the ring, goes for a shotgun drop kick. Seth Rollins dodges it. As Finn is getting back up, he hits the pedigree. 1, 2, Balor kicks out. Seth Rollins then climbs to the top rope, goes for a Phoenix Splash. He misses it, and he gets up like, and he's kind of, trying to catch his breath. Finn takes his opportunity. He drop kicks Seth Rollins. Boom, he's on the mat. Now Balor goes up to the ring, up to the top rope, hits the coup de grace. 1, 2, 3, new Universal Champion. That's how we get out of that mess. So after that, do we have him feud with Rollins? No, we don't. We have Rollins kind of engaged in this weird relationship with the Authority, and we have Balor enter into a feud with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. So how you do this is you play up the handicap aspect of it. Just constantly they use the fact that there's 2 against 1 against him. And Stephanie McMahon's really supporting this. And he's like, Seth can't get the job done. So, what that's going to be leading up to is a triple threat match. Balor versus Jericho versus Owens at the next pay-per-view. I believe that was Great Balls of Fire. Correct me if I'm wrong. Probably wasn't. Now I think about it. Anyway, Balor gets the 2-on-1 treatment again, but Owens and Jericho cannot communicate. They cannot get on the same page. So Balor takes advantage of this and uses this to retain the title. How he does this is very interesting, how I have it planned. At one point, Jericho is going to nail a code breaker. Balor's going to shoot up, and then he's going to turn around into a pop-up powerbomb from Kevin Owens. Owens goes to the pin, Jericho breaks it up, they start yelling at each other's face, and they kind of they get into an argument. Balor slowly regains his consciousness, and they are in each other's face, just bickering now. He's in one corner, they're kind of cross to another, and Finn runs, drop kicks Jericho in the back, running Jericho into Owens. Jericho powders out of the ring with a hurt back. Owens walks into a 1916 from Balor. 1, 2, 3. Balor retains the championship. And Owens is livid. At the next pay-per-view, Jericho and Balor can have a one-on-one match. I think they could work really, really well together. And this time have Owens as an outside distraction as he continuously tries to get involved in the match until Jericho kind of says, "Get out of here, I don't need you. I'm going to become the champion by myself." And then as he turns around, Balor, boom, drop kicks him in the mouth. Jericho's like, my teeth, my teeth. And at this point, Owens is already gone because Jericho said he didn't need him. Balor hits another 1916, goes up to the top rope, coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. Balor retains the towel, he's holding it up in the air, and then we hear this music.
Rusev Udria, Rusev Machka.
Rusev comes out, and this is, I believe, now Hell in a Cell, but we're not going to have a Hell in a Cell match for these two because that would make no sense. It's a fresh feud. You don't need to have a Hell in a Cell match for it. But on the same pay-per-view, we're going to have Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the number one contendership to the Universal title. So, Rusev versus Balor, you get a good big man, little man aspect going on. Rusev tries his best. Stephanie McMahon at this point has gotten really involved in trying to get the championship away from Finn Balor. He gets that, nails that kick to the back of the head. Finn Balor is down. He's powdered out. It looks like it's over. He locks in the accolade, and it looks like Balor is about to lose the championship as Balor just keeps fighting and fighting, trying to get to the ropes, trying to do something, trying to get out. And he begins to slip out, and Rusev's panicking. He's trying to sit back further. That just helps Balor slip out more. Balor slips out into a roll-up. 1, 2, 3. Balor retains. Rusev breaks the out and just goes on a rampage, like just destroying tables and all that other great stuff. So at this point, Rusev is just going to be made into even more of a monster. I'm going to showcase that at the next Survivor Series. But that's going to have to wait for later in the video. Because on the same card, Rusev interrupts the Seth Roman match. Because I'm going to have that match after the Universal Championship match. Therefore, Roman and Seth, there's now a winner. And it makes a great triple threat match at Survivor Series. Rollins, Reigns, Balor for the championship. It's a great match, and it will give Balor some more legitimacy as champion. And on the same card, we're going to have the Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match. But instead, Lesnar is going to win. And just to kind of drive Rusev home as a monster, he's going to destroy Braun Strowman. Rollins, Reigns, Balor, all in the triple threat. They have an even flow to them. Everyone kind of gets the same amount of time in. And then we do that awesome spot. Roman is going for a spear, and Rollins catches him with a pedigree. He goes for the pin, but Finn's on the top rope. He breaks it up with the coup de grace. They kind of powder out there. Rollins is kind of getting frustrated at this point. He does not know what to do. Roman stands up. Balor kicks Roman out of the ring. Seth Rollins goes for the pedigree. Balor reverses it into a 1916 of his own. Boom. Goes to the coup de grace. Nails it. 1, 2, 3. He is gone. At this point, Rollins is so disappointed in himself. Triple H comes down, looks at him for a little bit like, you didn't win the belt, fam. You didn't win the belt, fam. And he kicks him in the gut. Pedigree on the stage. He is out of the Authority. I want to build this up more because, yes, he should have done it when he came back, but they shouldn't have done it like this. It became so stupid. Okay, fine, he shouldn't have been in the Authority to begin with, but if you're going to have him be kicked out of the Authority live on television, have it last enough to mean something, guys. Come on. So, after that, I would actually have Rusev versus Balor at TLC in a TLC match. And you know what, now I think about it, throw Reigns in there for a nice triple threat. So, you have Rusev, Reigns, Balor, triple threat, TLC. Now you kind of notice Balor has a lot of triple threats. Balor has a lot of looking strong. This will be a key component in his title reign. So, this line match can have spots like Roman spearing Rusev through a table in the barricade. Balor running along the ladder between the ring and the announce table and hitting like a double and hitting a drop kick on Rusev that runs into range. You have a bunch of cool spots, maybe an accolade on top of a ladder. Just really cool spots, making Rusev look strong. Because Rusev is awesome. So, at the end of the match, it's Reigns and Rusev fighting on top of the ladder, trying to get to the Universal Championship. They're going. And then Balor, showing an amazing feat of strength, hops from the top rope onto the ladder, grabs the title, and he's now standing between them. He pushes them away with his legs. They fall down. Balor snatches it, falls down onto the ring. Balor has retained the Universal Championship once again. And Stephanie McMahon comes down, and she is so frustrated that she cannot get this belt off of Finn Balor. And then we hear, well, here comes the pain. Brock Lesnar suplexes Balor all up and down, all around the ring. Just leaving Balor in a heap, holding up the Universal Championship as Paul Heyman claps him on. In the coming weeks, Balor says, I'm going to use my demon. The demon is banned. Stephanie McMahon really wants to get this belt off of Finn Balor. So after Royal Rumble, that will be the main event. It will actually come on after the Rumble, a one-on-one match between Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, in which Brock Lesnar wins the belt. I'm assuming there's going to be boos. But trust me, guys, it'll be worth it in the end. So, when this happens, he's now the Universal Championship. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit back to the Royal Rumble match to tell you what happens in that one. Yeah, that should be fun. So, yes, Randy Orton won that year. I'm going to keep that around because I don't feel like rebooking that. I might rebook that someday, but that really has no bearing on the current feud we have. So, because that's a SmackDown thing. So, instead, I'm going to have designated spots in the Rumble, like Rusev eliminating Goldberg, and maybe Triple H eliminating Seth Rollins. Maybe Roman Reigns gets his spot in. Just build up that feud, build up that narrative there. Setting up more WrestleMania matches down the line. Also, I would have Owens and Jericho, who now have been teaming for a few months and getting along better, and been Raw Tag Team Champions, finally snap on each other in the Rumble, preferably Owens eliminating Jericho. So, but this will give a great way to our chamber match. And this is who I'd have in the chamber. Just saying out loud who I'd have in the chamber. This sets up the number one contendership for the match at WrestleMania. In that match, I have Owens, Jericho, Rusev, Balor, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. This way you can kind of build in the Bullet Club, build in that link between them. Have it be a really hard thing. And the first one who's out, it will be Carl Anderson. Not Carl Anderson. It will be Luke Gallows at the hands of Carl Anderson. Automatically showing there's no friends in the Elimination Chamber. Then after that, you can kind of have it go back and forth a little bit. The next two who will be eliminated will be Jericho eliminates Owens, and then Rusev eliminates Jericho. Balor and Anderson team up to take out Rusev, which they just managed to do. And then you get the final two in the chamber, Carl Anderson versus Finn Balor. This is going to be fun. Have them go for about 15 minutes, have him constantly going for the cutter. So at one point, though, he gets frustrated and starts using like exposed objects, using the floor grate. He's really trying to beat Finn Balor to become the number one contender and face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So what happens next? Anderson puts Balor up on the pod, and he's going to hit the cutter off the pod. He's setting it up, and it's like this will be the end of Finn Balor. Finn pushes Anderson off. Anderson crashes down to the middle of the ring. Balor does this pose up on the pod. He lands a coup de grace from the pod. 1, 2, 3. Balor is going to WrestleMania to face off against Brock Lesnar. So, what does that make our card look like? Well, let's little something like this. So, in the main event, obviously, you're going to have Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar. Finn Balor finally gets to go demon mode, and he's going to finally beat Brock Lesnar to regain the championship. Also on that card, we're going to have Owens and Jericho finally. We're going to have Rusev and Goldberg. And we're probably going to have the Good Brothers fighting for the Raw Tag Team Championships in the ladder match. And they are actually going to win over the Hardys' return, setting up the Hardys in underdog story. That's what I want to happen at WrestleMania. So that would be the conclusion of this rebook. Could I make a part 2? Yes. I have a whole plan for Balor post-Mania that I would love to book for you guys. Let me know if you want to see that. Thanks for watching this video by LS11 Universe. Let me know how you think I did in the comment section down below. Do you think I did better than how WWE did it? Or was just me throwing high-level mid-carders that the fans love at people just so people like it more? Wink. Anyway, I've been Ray. This has been LS11 Universe Rebooks. See you next time, guys. Bye.